General nerdery.
So I jammed my thumb really hard yesterday while I was wearing gloves. So I take off the glove and be like, oh, fuck. Like,
yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, no, it's the kind where I'm like running through the park swearing repeatedly, being like, I know there's children around, but I am feeling these feelings right now. Rip off my glove, being like, oh my god, did I like fucking break? And I forgot that I recently painted my nails for the first time. And let me tell you, when you think you've just like broken your thumb, pulling the glove off and seeing that your entire nail is already all purple.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
What you're looking for.
It's not good at all.
Oh god! Wait, no, it's shiny. I'm just an idiot. Okay, we're fine.
Oh god, I one summer I tore the rotator cuff in my left shoulder 3 different times. Like I tore it and then retore it a couple times. But that after the first one, that first night going to bed, I rolled weird, and I woke up with my hand completely numb.
Oh no!
Right after doing that.
Oh.
I was freaking the fuck out.
Oh, buddy.
It was all good, though. Well, I mean, it wasn't. Like, I screwed up my shoulder, but real bad. But
I also managed to trip over someone while, like, walking backwards and straight up, like, ass over shoulders. Well, and man, I am too old to get up the next day and survive that. I'm not even that old. Like, I realize I'm middle-aged. I'm in my mid-30s. But, like, goddamn. Anyways, welcome to General Nerdery, your podcast about liking things. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
And we will be discussing nothing similar to what we've been talking about today. Other than old, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. It might come up.
Slightly anticlimactic story.
It might come up. We'll see. But it'll be The Shadow.
You guys, we're talking about The Shadow. We talked about it last time.
Yeah. More pulp. More Baldwin. I mean, we didn't have Baldwin before, but now we have more Baldwin.
There's a lot of Baldwin in this. I forgot that he was, like, legitimately a really good-looking guy back in the 90s.
Yeah, what a Baldwin.
Because he's
a total Baldwin.
He's Jack Donaghy from 30 Rock for me. So,
unfortunately for me, he is the Boy Scout leader in the Canteen Boy sketches.
I will also say, unfortunately, this movie hits a little differently after he shot a person.
Yeah, fair. That's also true.
Like, as I'm watching him, like, and I'm like, oh no.
Also true.
But before we get to that, what have we been ingesting?
Let's see. As you saw when you came in, I'm back in Elden Ring. Because the DLC comes out Friday. And so I'm getting ready. I'm legitimately, the only reason I'm trying to fucking beat Millennia again right now is because I want her armor set for this character to go in wearing it in the DLC. Just because that's how I want my character to look when I go into the DLC.
It is interesting to watch you play Elden Ring because I leathercraft armor, I keep an eye out on like a lot of cosplay patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And realizing how many of these patterns that I've just grown accustomed to seeing on Etsy are Elden Ring related. Because a lot of times they won't say that, just they're like, Space Wizard. And you're like, we know you mean Jedi. Or like, whatever.
Right.
Space Bounty Hunter. Just, okay. You know what? I also don't want to be sued by Disney, so I don't blame you. But like...
Yeah, so if you see like Rock Goddess, that's Millennia.
Yeah, stuff like that. And I'm like, so she's got that kind of like half helmet that goes forward that's got the like slats,
the little
through the
slits,
front,
yeah,
and kind of makes me think of Robin Hood's hat just because of the shape of it.
Oh, I can see that.
That pattern is really common around, and I've always been like, I know that's from a video game, but then we've now entered the limits of my knowledge. Watching her being like, oh shit,
oh look,
it's that thing.
Oh, that sucks. Yes, you watched me get my ass stomped a few
like
times.
4 times.
Which I don't even feel bad because it's Millennia. She's one of the hardest bosses FromSoft has ever put out, is a common opinion. So whatever. A lot of snap because the OTA got rid of Professor X. for the most part.
Yeah, so
It's been a lot more fun to play again. I was running into that Profx C-ball deck though, like 60% of my matches, so.
Ooh, I wasn't getting it as often, but that is a frustrating deck.
And then I went and saw Furiosa.
Based off the fact that you look like you just got asked to prom, I'm assuming
It's
that
so
you liked
good.
it. Yeah.
It's so good, dude. It's fucking excellent.
I really want to see it.
Like, I realize that there's more factors at play for why it's bombing at the box office. Like, no movie that came out that weekend is doing good. Have you seen that? Like, it's at a loss.
I knew Furiosa was not doing well, and I knew the worst people on the internet were claiming victory. But I also know that, like, we have to kind of stop evaluating movies based off opening weekends.
Oh, it's not just opening weekend. Like, it's still at a loss.
Yeah, I've actually been kind of tempted to go but I also don't really go to movie theaters, so.
But, like, it's not the only thing, though. Like, this whole year is proving to be super weird at the box office, where something's either a gigantic hit or it's nothing. And there's only been, like, 3 hits so far.
Barbie's the only one I could tell you, like...
Godzilla Kong being the other big one.
Hell yeah, Godzilla Kong.
Godzilla Kong actually did fucking bonkers.
It's supposed to be a bad movie, too.
Something just came out this weekend that's doing well. Fucking Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 is doing fucking bonkers right now.
Oh, it's supposed to be really good. I've heard really good things about it.
I don't doubt it. Inside Out fucking ruined me for like a year, so. Bro, have you seen Inside Out?
I actually haven't.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say much more than this, but like I couldn't say the words bing bong for about a year without starting to tear up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How often does bing bong come up for you?
Not often, but like I would even start to think of it and I'd be like, "Oh god." Or somebody would make like a joke at the expense of Microsoft Bing and I'd be like, "Oh no."
Bing has finally had its revenge.
Somebody mentioned Bing Crosby. I'm like, "Why?" Bing cherries? God. But no, like a bunch of things are doing terrible right now. And it's also really funny because all the people paying attention to that are also going, oh, maybe superhero fatigue isn't a thing. It's just that, like, movies are in an extremely weird spot right now.
Yeah. The theaters... I don't know. I mean, we've been talking about it for years, that something about how the movie industry runs needs to change. And after COVID, they're like, we can just go back to where we were. And that's not...
It's not true.
Yeah. What it needs to change into, I don't fucking know, but not that.
Yeah, I don't know either, but...
Oh, Dune was the other one that did really well.
Oh, yeah, Dune.
But that was fucking Dune Part 2. Like, no one was surprised by that.
But dude, fucking Furiosa. So, yeah, much more use of CG.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fucking care. Because it fits the tone of this story. It's a completely different tone. This movie feels like the telling of almost like trying to think how to word this. It feels like someone is doing their best to tell you the real version of a legend you might have heard.
Okay.
There's like specific moments peppered throughout the movie that are framed in a way where you're like, oh, like as soon as somebody retells this once, like this moment gets blown out of proportion.
Post-apocalyptic Greek legends. I dig it.
And it's fucking fantastic.
Made by Australians. Yep, into it.
And Chum Bucket shows up from the game, the guy that gives you your fucking rig.
Okay.
Like the Avalanche game that came out in 2014, they were working off of George Miller's notes.
Yeah.
And like this movie almost like confirms it. Like it feels way more set in like a blend between what we saw on Fury Road and what you know from the game if you've played the game.
It's interesting that he seems to have decided that Mad Max has an actual canon Fury Road on.
I agree with that, especially because the actual tone of Furiosa kind of implies that Max is just part of the legend of the desert.
It's just like Well, I mean, like, recurring characters, and he says he has another idea for just a Max movie, which the way that the article, like, made a deal about that, I was like, we've had 4 of those. But, like, okay, but, you know, the first Mad Max movie feels so wildly different from every other, because he's still a cop.
Right.
The world still exists.
My personal headcanon is that the only time we've actually ever seen Max Rockatansky is in the first movie. Road Warrior On, it's unnamed wasteland wanderer who, in Legends, becomes called Mad Max because nobody knows what his fucking name is.
I guess, although, like, they're... except there are the connecting points that makes me want... So your version is it's just Link from Legend of Zelda?
Basically.
But, you know, I kind of like it.
It's kind of, yeah, it's whenever there's a wasteland wanderer who goes out of their way and just comes out of nowhere and helps...
has a shotgun and
and deposes a fucking warlord and helps the people and then just drifts back into the fucking wasteland. That just ends up becoming Mad Max.
See, I was gonna go more with, like, a spirit or a ghost kind of thing, but, like, I'm into it.
And yeah, like I said, the tone of this movie and part of the way that it ends, without me going into details, kind of implies that Furiosa becomes a version of that too in the future of the Wasteland.
Yeah, that would make sense. She's at least as capable as Max is in all of Fury Road.
Mm-hmm. And dude, fucking Chris Hemsworth. Holy shit. He's having so much fun the entire movie, and he kills. He is so good as the bad guy.
I am not at all surprised that he plays a good bad guy. He did some other movie where he played, like, a cult leader or something. It was a movie that involved, like, a hotel. That is not a good description of figuring out what this movie is, but that's as deep as we're going to go.
And it's wild to get to hear him be an Australian.
Yeah, we're really not used to that.
And most of the time, they at least make him tone it back. And in this, they're like, hey, lean into it.
Yeah, fucking go nuts.
You are Australian as fucking this, dude. Fucking fantastic. I want to see it again. I'm probably not going to go see it then again in theaters, but that's mostly because there's a bunch of other movies coming out that I want to see. So
yeah, that's fair.
But it made me finally get around to buying Fury Road on 4K, which I've owned it on Blu-ray for a while. I've been hesitant about the 4K because I had heard some pretty middling reviews about the 4K transfer. Mostly that, like, what I had heard is not something I ended up running into. I do have my issues with it, but I had heard that it made it so crisp that you could see where they digitally erased the harnesses.
That's too crisp. Meanwhile, I've just got on DVD, so...
I didn't run into that problem with it. However, it's not a great 4K transfer. The sound mixing is pretty fucking terrible. And you can see the composite shots way easier because they use like 3 or 4 different models of camera in the production of that, including a couple that like were intended like, hey, if this scene goes wrong, this camera might get broke. So we need something cheap that can get broke. And you can kind of tell when everything is that crisp. You're like, oh, that back there is not as crisp as what's up here, and it's not just because it's in the background. Like,
fair enough.
Overall, though, it still looked very, very pretty.
It's
in 4K.
still Fury Road.
Yeah.
Which part of me is like, I should watch Fury Road tonight, but I know I'm not gonna. I know I'm gonna watch wrestling tonight.
But I don't know. It is weird how you can notice some of that stuff when they jack up the resolution like that. And then I don't think I've done too much else. Some Slay the Spire. That's about it.
That's fair.
I think I watched something, but I don't remember what. Nothing too important. Furiosa is the important one.
Yeah. Let's see. I got through season 5 of Game Changer on Dropout, which both Steven and I have talked about at this point. It's a game show where every game or every episode is a different game.
Mm-hmm.
It remains fantastic. I continue to love Dropout because I know what my money is paying for. Like, I am just really fascinated by the idea of like an indie kind of creator owned, some level of creator owned streaming service
Mm-hmm.
where it's not just like what shows can we get for really cheap or what shows can but like we do these shows, they're based off of this, they do really well. There's a lot of crossovers between the different like actors. I just like it as a model and I like supporting it. Quite a few so much fucking Superman for me lately because the next volume of the Joshua Williamson Superman series finally came out, and I devoured that. Superman as a comic book might be at the best that it's been since the 90s. Like, there's been some killer Superman runs. Like, All-Star Superman is still All-Star Superman.
Right.
But the ongoing monthly has struggled for decades.
Was it, God, what was it? Was it Superman Red and Blue that has that story that ends with him looking at the world with the I love you?
Yes.
Okay, so I had only ever seen that before, and I woke up the other morning and I had popped online and I was looking through some stuff, and somebody had actually made a post. They're like, lots of people have seen this last image, it floats around, it's great. Here's it in context, because not enough people have actually read this story. And they posted up the entire... I had never read that entire...
I don't know if I've read it either. It's...
Well, what a fucking way for me to just start my morning bawling. It is beautiful.
Because Superman Red and Blue, if you've not read it, is getting a bunch of different comic creators to tell Superman short stories using red and blue as basically the only colors. Obviously, there's some black and white and stuff, and like some slight tonal stuff, but for the most part, it's in red and blue. In the same way that, God, now Batman, Harley Quinn, Deadpool, and Moon Knight have all had... Oh, and Darth Maul have all had black, white, and red series where they rip off Grendel and only do... I don't know why I'm fine with it with Grendel, but when I see it with the rest of them, I'm like, you're a bunch of fakers. Like, but the Superman series, like, it is Superman that is... It's such a weird line because it's Superman, but it's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's not trying to, like, now we will make Superman edgy. Now we'll make Superman have no powers. Now I don't like, whatever complete reinvention of Superman that comes up every couple of years. But it's also letting things change. Superman's a dad in this one, and it's... The main Superman book is not about him being a dad, but, like, his family's a huge part. The Daily Planet is a huge part of the story, but Lois Lane is now editor-in-chief and not just a reporter. What is that like, Bring back some of the classic supervillains like Silver Banshee or Livewire or people who don't get a lot of time, because for years when we've been doing a Superman story, we get either Brainiac, Metallo, Lex Luthor, Zod.
Right.
Let's do a Parasite story and make it really baller. So I really appreciate that it is classic Superman without just like, we're going to retell his origin story. And I love Superman's origin story. I, at one point, owned like 6 different versions of it. It's one of the greatest comic book stories of all time. But we can do other stuff with it. And it understands like, oh, maybe the Daily Planet and the normal human cast is important. Which is the other thing, a Superman thing that came up. I've watched not this week's episodes of My Adventures with Superman Season 2, but all the ones leading it. So I think 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that series is so good. Have you seen any of it yet?
No, not yet.
Anime Superman?
Right. No, not yet.
And a lot of people got really mad when it started being described as that, but I mean, it is. At one point, Lois Lane's dad is using some kind of like energy shield, and it's straight up the shield the original Gundam has. the first time you see Supergirl before she's, Supergirl and dressed as it, the internet realized she's dressed exactly how Android 18 is dressed for, like, her first several appearances.
Wow.
In this. Like, there's a lot of anime love letter references, but it's also a straight up Superman story. And he's voiced by Boimler. So
Brilliant. Perfect.
they end season 1 with Jimmy Olsen ending up with something like $6 million. I don't know. I don't remember, but like a large amount of money. And they have a running thing of every time he makes a stupid expense, they just show the 6 million, like the decrease of the amount. We're 4 episodes in and he spent almost $3 million.
Oh, no. That's pretty great.
And then what else? I had one other thing, and when driving home, I'm gonna go, son of a bitch.
Well, I'm just gonna say, if you get the chance, read that Superman Red and Blue story.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to for a long time.
Without giving too much away, it's about how certain phrases told to him by Pa Kent has reverberated throughout his life.
Oh my god. Oh my god, just punch me in the heart.
I woke up, it was like the first thing I read that morning. It was like within 15 minutes of waking up, and I was fucking bawling to start the morning.
I know John Schneider as an old man kind of shows his entire ass in a not quite Kevin Sorbo way, but like a little closer to that than I want.
Mm-hmm.
But John Schneider played Pa Kent in Smallville, so like I'm so torn between my deep love of his depiction of Pa Kent and that. But the last one is, I am not done with it, although I've read the book before. The most recent audiobook of the next book in the Rogue Squadron series, the Wraith Squadron series.
Oh, okay.
Came out.
Nice.
And so I got that, and then I pre-ordered I don't pre-order on Audible, like, ever. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going through these, because they give you get I don't remember what they call it, but basically a free book.
A credit. Yeah, you get a credit every month.
Every month, and I was starting to like back up on credits. Like, you know what? Fuck it. I know I'm gonna get this, so let's just. This way, I don't have to think about it until they send me a text message. I think going, "Hey, your book's here." I mean, we've talked about it. You've never read the Wraith Squadron books. They're still really fucking good. The guy who reads all of these, he reads basically all of the Star Wars novels now. That's a fucking amazing life. Continues to be really good, even when sometimes some of his character choices are strange.
Okay.
Just some of the, like, since Wraith Squadron involves them going undercover a lot, they're pretending to be space pirates. But the professional, incredible actor who's pretending to be the head of this, like, space pirate mercenary crew sounds like an extra from Pirates of the Caribbean when he's in character. Yar, so he's me. And I'm just like, I think this is... What? But he commits to the bit enough that you kind of end up, like, accepting it anyways? It's interesting. Everyone's like, Wraith Squadron's the better books. And they are really good books. I really am enjoying them. But it's very funny to me that these are the ones remembered as the good ones. And really what it is it's the anti-hero ones.
Right.
It's like the underdog screw-ups instead of the greatest starfighter squadron in the galaxy.
It's not Top Gun anymore. It's Dirty Dozen.
Yes. But some of the choices that their characters make in this, like, one of the characters is a undercover Imperial agent that joins the rebellion and is like, holy shit, being in the Empire sucked. But the space of time it takes her to make that choice is so fucking short. She goes from, like, dedicated Imperial agent, like, trying to get back to the imps and, like, destroy the rebellion to, like, I went on one mission with the Empire, or with the rebels, and now I realize how bad the Empire sucks. And, like, maybe I'll just be on this side now. But also, they have her go through this, like, crisis of conscience and character where she starts to lose her mind and not be fully sure if she's like her undercover identity or her original identity.
Oh, okay.
But it happens so fast. And then they keep being like, you're doing great. And I'm like, she's clearly like, even if you don't know how she's losing her mind, she keeps going into like catatonic shock. Maybe don't put her in a starfighter.
Yeah, no, that's it's probably a good call.
I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I think I hit my head, and that's why I totally did not talk there for a few minutes as I went into this like absolute crisis of identity. And they're like, okay. Good job on that kill. See you next mission. I'm like, talk to them.
That's funny. I've been using my Audible credits to go through the Dresden Files in reverse order.
Why reverse order?
It's been really interesting, actually.
I can see how, but I'm curious what like in
it just so some of the foreshadowing sticks out more.
Okay, that's interesting.
But also just like because you have that sort of like jarring reset at the beginning of each one, and it's not just flowing into each other, certain details stick out more.
And you kind of get to see how much better a writer he's become.
Yeah, these latest ones, I'm down to the first 3, and like they're rough. They're rough.
He doesn't learn how to write until book 3 or 4.
Yeah, but also I don't know. Some things are weird. I trust Ebenezer so much less.
Yeah, because now we know that he's the Black Staff.
Yeah, and like going back through, seeing the foreshadowing, and like all the times where he like danced around his words with answers to Dresden, and
nothing made me
and
realize...
times where he outright lied.
Nothing makes me realize how shitty the enigmatic father figure or like boss is until I made one in a D&D campaign and just my entire crew rebelled against him like mission 2, being like, no, you will tell us things.
Oof. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a wild ride. I also like Ghost Story so much more.
I liked Ghost Stories. I always thought that was...
I never disliked it. There's a lot of people that disliked it the first time through, but going through it both in reverse order to see like the foreshadowing and how it fits in and how it's sort of like as hard of a reset as it is.
What was next? Skin Game was after Ghost?
Which is fucking fantastic.
See, I didn't like Skin Game as much. I mean, I liked it, but I mean, we've talked about this. In my opinion, that like it's the middle chunk that are the best books, because the first few are fun, but they're trash.
I think legitimately Ghost Story On has become my favorite chunk in my re-listens.
Interesting. I should give it another shot. Just
I usually fall asleep listening to Skin Game these days.
Wild. I do need new things to fall asleep to, because it's been a lot of Terry Pratchett for like 2 years now. But
James Marsters has a great voice to fall asleep to.
He does. But like, first few are rough, but they're fun trash.
Yeah.
He figures out how to write. He figures out that women are people and not just hard-nippled character or like set pieces.
That does take longer than figuring out how to write, but yes.
We both are fans of Jim Butcher, but like the amount that he used the tips of her nipples or the tips of her breasts in those first few books. And then, but like, Dresden gets enough power and enough things get going on plot-wise that we get some of the political drama and less of the just like, he's fucking useless that we have with the first few books. But my issue is with the power creep. And as much as it's fun to be like, and now he's got this form after a while of that kind of storytelling, I
think he's about to top out. Especially because...
You would fucking have to.
Well, especially because Butcher has addressed in interviews multiple times where he wants Dresden's relative power level to end up. And he wants him to be a medium-sized fish in a large pond.
Okay. But it just took a while for that pond to...
But the problem was we didn't know how deep the pond was before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're just, like, with Ethniu showing up, and now we kind of know where the edges of the pond are.
Remind me who Ethniu is?
The Titan from
Yeah.
Battleground.
Yeah, okay.
Now we kind of actually have an idea of, like, what a large fish is. So it's about getting him to the medium fish range.
Just because, again, I watch so much wrestling now. I watched fucking... I now watch every fucking WWE pay-per-view.
Brilliant. Awesome.
Watched Clash of the Castle last weekend. Had a great time. Fuck CM Punk. But, so, they're trying to kind of get Dresden to, like, the upper mid-card.
Yes.
And it took us a while to see, because if I'm going to continue to use this analogy. So, like, the Fairy Queens are, like, the lower level of, like, the title scene? Like, the upper card? Okay. But when we first meet them, they are the impossibly powerful. Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank God he's going to top out now, because it is hitting Super Saiyan 3 mode.
Well, I don't think he's quite topped out yet, but I think it's going to be weird going from here. If I had to guess, he's going to gain some more power, but I think he's also going to find some way to lose the mantle of the Winter Knight.
Yeah, you kind of are going to have to at some point.
I do think that there's a chance he might become a minor Fey Lord by the end of the series.
I believe it. Especially with Murphy gone. Like, he's really losing his connections to Earth.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up as something kind of close to the Earl King, except for, like, the little folk.
Oh, that'd be good. I'd like that. Do we know when the next novel's coming out?
Butcher said he's hoping to turn in his first completed draft by July 1st.
Okay.
If that happens,
Probably next year.
Probably next year, but there's a chance that if that draft is close enough to what's going to go to publication, that the deal it seems like he has with his publishers could potentially mean that it would drop like end of November, mid-December.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, like...
But it is going to depend on what that draft, looks like, and if he, in fact, finishes it up by that date.
You and I were very different on our opinions of the two-parter that came out recently. I did not like them very much. You enjoyed them quite a bit, if I remember. I am excited to see what happens next in a way that I haven't been, so...
Yeah, dude, 12 months is going to be wild. That's the name of the next one.
I'm still concerned, what the fuck are you going to do with that series without Murphy? But, like, Murphy was also in such a weird place anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Okay, we might have to do a dressing episode. Fuck! Oh, maybe that's what I'll listen to. I've got a long car ride coming up.
I highly recommend a re-listen of Skin Game. It might be my number one in the series at this point.
See, I'm going to have a friend in the car with me who's younger than we are. He's like 20.
Okay.
So he's probably never read any of these. And so part of me is like,
Summer
start him
Night?
off, but I don't want to fucking... I got through that first book on my own, but I was also alone in the wilderness. Like...
I think Proven Guilty is what Butcher considers to be the secondary entry point in the series, because he actually reconfigured some things around because it was the first one printed in hardback.
That's 3? 4?
Like 5 or 6.
Jesus Christ. Anyways. We're kind of far afield, but also I'm pretty sure pulp shit like The Shadow kind of helped influence...
Right, dude, those first 3 fucking books, their downfall is how hard he tries to stick to noir.
Yeah. All right, in that case, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk about movies that definitely had some downfalls. So my excitement at the, like, absolute insanity that is the first, like, 5 to 10 minutes of this movie versus the next hour and a half are two wildly different things.
Dude, how is this movie both better than and worse than The Phantom at the same time?
It's better than because its plot is less insane, which is saying a lot. But I had to explain The Phantom to our buddy Will recently. That it is a purple leotarded jungle man up against a captain of industry with his team of sky pirates, gangsters, and normal pirates, who is trying to utilize the power of the crystal skulls.
Yeah, no, that's pretty straightforward.
Yes. But, like, that's insane. This is slightly problematic origin of shitty white man trained not to be shitty by Asian mysticism, uses that to fight crime.
Becomes psychic master?
Uses that to fight crime. Like, so, and an atomic bomb is involved because it's the 20s. Because it's period pieces from the 90s is really what it is. Like, so it's weird, like, in a lot of ways.
It's actually set in 36.
Is it?
And I know that because they got the one super cool thing that this movie did was that taxi is authentic.
That was pretty good. But like the plot of this movie is relatively, it's weird to say it, but it's relatively straightforward. Man trained in mysticism uses his mysticism and guns to fight other man trained in mysticism who uses his mysticism and evil.
No, this is fucking
it's Doctor Strange in the 90s.
I was about to say, it's Doctor Strange taking out Baron Mordo.
It really, Cece was watching it with me and like did not
with
know
guns
what this movie was like, is this if they had tried to make Doctor Strange 20 years but they're 30 years before?
Kinda, yes.
Yeah.
Kinda.
It taps into a lot of the same things because Stan Lee taps into basically nothing but old school pulp stuff when he was creating his 60s era heroes. So, if you do not know, one, go listen to our episode of Word Balloons where we talk about The Shadow, because that's actually not a terrible covering of The Shadow. But basically, The Shadow was probably the most successful of the pulp heroes, definitely the one with the longest lasting footprint. Famous for who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows. And stuff like that. And it is a kind of pre-Batman noir vigilante who uses psychic powers and guns and blackmail to fight crime.
Yes.
This is like this movie is a pretty good adaptation of Pulp. I don't think it's a very good adaptation of The Shadow.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, I've not heard much of the radio plays, so he might be less of a dickbag there. But, like, The Shadow is the world's most unlikable hero in basically every story I've ever read of him.
Everything I've ran into is he's a dickbag. And this doesn't change it.
He's not really a dickbag in I mean, he's...
Okay, yeah, he's still like, so, saved your life. You work for me now. And that's your top priority.
Sure, but it hits differently when, like, they're kind of making jokes about it or, like, being excited about that fact. And he's got a, like, plucky cab driver assistant.
He's got fucking...
really like the plucky cab driver assistant.
He's got Peter Boyle. He's got the fucking creature from Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, and his... uncle is fucking... I can't think of that actor's name.
Jonathan Winters?
Yeah, Jonathan Winters is in this movie of all fucking things. I love Jonathan Winters.
And apparently didn't go off script once.
Really?
This is like his most straightforward role ever.
Yeah, well, okay. Considering who he is.
Which is almost the joke.
Oh, well, you know what? He got paid, and that's the important part. I mean, this is like The Phantom. This was from an era where Batman had been popular, so they wanted to do, like, kind of pulpy vigilante movies with a very, like, era themed, because if you look at those old Tim Burton movies, they're in the quote unquote modern day, but Gotham itself has such a old school pulp kind of first half of the 20th century feel to it that like they probably should have just put Batman in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I actually would have been way more into that in retrospect.
So let's get. You had already brought up the beginning of this movie. I'm torn whether it's more problematic or less problematic when you introduce. What was he going by then? King.
Yokai, Yaka.
When he's in the shadows, being presented as like picture perfect yellow peril stereotype, and then it's Alec Baldwin's face that pops out of the shadows. Is that more or less problematic?
It's just problematic. And it is a thing with pulp that if you're gonna read it, and we've talked about this with every pulp thing we've ever done. Conan the Barbarian, H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, Lovecraft is the example to set all examples. But, like, when you read century-old stories, there's some shit that makes you go, ugh. Or write stuff based off century-old stories. Baldwin sleptwalked through almost every scene in this movie, and he kind of did in that first one, but it was so, like, that whole scene was so unhinged that it kind of like made it work. Just random, like, in this opium den, James Hong is brought in. And I was like, holy shit, it's James Hong, forgetting that he doesn't last long in a lot of his old roles.
Yeah, he shows up. I want to say that the guy that he shoots through is somebody I recognize.
I recognize him too, but I didn't get a.
This movie has a ton of fucking character actors where I was like, no shit, he's in this? No shit, he's in this? Like,
I mean,
Abraham Ben Ruby, I noticed for sure.
Tim Curry, Ian McKellen, and like before Gandalf, when Ian McKellen was just kind of a weird British guy actor as opposed to like to American audiences, obviously.
I do find it funny. So Ian McKellen only agreed to do this movie so that he would have the money to produce Richard III.
Yeah, I believe that. I 100% believe that. I love
Tim
that
Curry,
British actors will do.
Tim Curry only did this movie to get the chance to work with Ian McKellen.
Good for him. Tim Curry, this is the most phoned in I've ever seen Tim Curry do a role. It was still fun, but Ethan Phillips is in this. Ethan Phillips plays the character of Neelix in Star Trek Voyager, who is a very divisive character because he sucks for like the first 3 seasons. And then he becomes one of the best characters on the show, like Loki, but he was the cop that shot himself.
Right. I mean, Larry Hankin is the taxi driver that drives into the gas station. He's been in things for the past like 40 years. I guarantee you've seen him in like 50 different things.
He's basically
he had a pretty memorable bit in Buried in like season 2, but
he's basically playing the exact same cab driver that was in The Phantom.
Yeah.
He's just playing Al.
I think the driver for Shiwan Khan is Al Leong, who was Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted's.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
The security guard that he gets to jump off the building. Oh God, what's his name? His name is Patrick Fischler. He was like, he played Smoothie in Happy when they did the Happy adaptation on Sci-Fi. I think he also had a stint in Mad Men for a few episodes. I think it was only like 4 or 5 episodes long, but it was pretty like high profile.
Well, and I mean, they had Penelope Ann Miller, who did have a career. That was a weird way of putting it, but like, she's not a huge actor, but she's had a pretty steady career.
I'm always excited when I see Nils Allen Stewart. He's one of my favorite like bodyguard fucking character actors that you've seen show up a million fucking times and everything.
Yeah, okay.
He was like one of the henchmen in like The Mask. Uh,
This movie,
in
like,
the Scorpion King.
oh, Jesus Christ. I felt so bad for this movie because, like, it's not a great movie, but I think it came out like the same week as The Lion King.
Bro,
And then The Mask came out shortly afterwards. Like, this movie was fucked.
the fucking, not just that, 94 is insane for movies. Like, it's up against The Mask, it's up against The Lion King, it's up against Forrest Gump.
Oh, shit.
It's up against True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's up against something else too. I can't remember. 94 is fucking loaded, dude. Summer of 94 especially is just insane. Like, it didn't stand a chance.
This could have been a, like, decent cult classic movie if it had come out during a not packed year, during, like, not necessarily a slow time of year, but not as, like, a big summer tentpole. But here we are.
Oh, Speed,
Oh my god.
Natural Born Killers, Pulp Fiction,
So,
Four Weddings and a Funeral.
so we're here to talk about the worst movie that came out in 1994.
Because it's either this movie or Angels in the Outfield.
I would rather watch this one. The second worst movie to come out in 1994. Although a lot of people would probably side with Angels in the Outfield on that one.
I did see Angels in the Outfield in the theater.
Saw it several times. Okay. So other than the, like, weirdly stacked 90s character actor cast, what did we like? What did we not like? Like, I kept comparing this to The Phantom because The Phantom inspired us to do these other movies.
Bro, I would watch this over The Phantom all day long. I kind of fucking dug this movie.
100% the other direction. And I liked this movie. I had fun watching it. I had so much more fun watching The Phantom.
Oh, I think this one's so much more over the top, like, all the time. Plus, there's just even more. Like I said, this cast is stacked, so, like, every scene I'm like, oh, hey, him. Oh, hey, her. Oh, hey, look at that. Even the Purba is the same dagger reused from The Golden Child.
Part of, and I feel like I'm just shitting on this movie now. Part of the reason that I like The Phantom better is Margot Lane got the fucking short shift in this movie.
I mean, compared to, like, going and hanging out with sky pirates, but at least she also wasn't necessarily a damsel in distress. Like,
No,
she
did
helped
get a-
save the city, basically. And
She did get a plot device. Like, I just felt like both women in The Phantom got so much more, like, sass and personality than she did. But I did like Margot.
My problem is that Siwon Khan is no Treat Williams.
No one is Treat Williams. That's unfair. It is wild to me that they're like, okay, so we have this character who is, like, his socialite buddy. What if she was a psychic? And what if that was a major plot line of this movie?
What if the Shadow is way more psychic than he's ever been before?
Right? I do think the best parts of this movie, and damn, when, like, there were parts of this movie that made my attention drag, but when this movie works, it fucking sings. And maybe that's why I liked The Phantom. I didn't have as many, like, drag periods with them. The moments between Lamont Cranston, the Shadow, and Siwon Kong when they're just sitting there, like,
Are
surfing each other.
fantastic.
Holy shit. Best scenes out of both movies, if we're being honest.
I fucking died when they were both amazed that the bullets hit in midair. It's not just that it happened, it's that they had both of the characters, like, look at each other like, did that just fucking happen?
Or, like, sassing each other and being shitheads to each other, but in the, like, super charm, like, if you have some American bourbon, I've weakness. Oh, of course, blah, 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 blah. Like, giving him advice where to get a tie, but being like, you're a barbarian, so are you. And they're like,
That was done as a callback to the radio ads.
the bourbon?
And like where'd you get your suit? Oh, Brooks Brothers.
That makes sense. Okay. But even just, like, with the bit, I think it's in a restaurant where He tries to stab him and he moves his finger, just, oh, that knife.
Yeah.
Like, that was just, those were the best parts. It was, again, did not feel much like The Shadow to me. But
we're fantastic.
But
we're just
yes,
great
we're
parts.
really a lot of fun. I wanted more of that. I didn't like his shadow makeup as part of it.
I wonder how much of that also was just them being like, cool, now we really don't need the stunt double to look like him.
And respect, but I don't know. You're right that this movie is like kind of bonkers at all times, including that bizarre fucking like smoking billboard with the man making like the blowjob face with the actual smoke coming out.
I'd climb a mountain for a
llama. Yeah.
The good old riff on the I'd walk a mile for a camel.
Yes, and I'm sure billboards like that actually existed, but I just was like, no. But so there are moments where they're like chewing the scenery and it sings, where they go to take out the mobsters who are about to throw that poor old man off the bridge, and he decides to just pull out the Tommy gun and shoot everywhere. And we get moments of the actor just like popping in front of the walkway going, ha ha ha, and like shooting was a lot of fun. But then like, I don't know, it just, the pacing of this movie was weird to me.
Yeah.
Ian McKellen was given nothing to do.
And that's fine.
He didn't want to be in it. So fair enough.
He was doing it for the paycheck. I get it. I was just thinking about, Tim Curry being in this. Just like, what's your favorite Tim Curry?
Long John Silver, Muppet Treasure Island.
Okay.
No competition.
Because I feel like I have a weird one.
What's that?
Rooster in Annie.
Trying to remember the last time I saw Annie.
Yeah, was it 1984 Annie with Bernadette Peters and...
Yeah. I mean, like, it's Tim Curry. I love Tim Curry. Pretty much anywhere you want to put him, I'm down. But I really love Muppet Treasure Island, so that's like... And he's an actor... I mean, it's been talked about when, who is it? The guy from Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, Albert Finney?
No, he also played Alfred the Butler in Batman Begins and stuff.
Alfred Goff.
Michael Caine.
Oh, that one.
Sorry.
I was thinking older Alfred. My bad.
When Michael Caine got the job of playing with the Muppets, he's like, I'm not going to treat them like puppets. I'm going to treat them just like actors and take it and play this role completely straight. And everyone's like, hell yeah. And Tim Curry's like, I'm going to be a Muppet too. And everyone's like, hell yeah. Although, in fairness, his entire acting style is pretty much being a real person Muppet.
Yeah. Like him as Herman Homolka in Congo.
Or even just like the way that he's playing the character in the hallway scene with Margot Lane being like, what a revealing neckline. And then just every scene just like looking down at, why don't you call me? Looks down at the boobs.
Like, I never called you. I know. Why didn't you start?
What a fascinating woman. Like, it's just, it was classic Tim Curry. It was Tim Curry kind of just phoning it in compared to a lot of... That's the character that should have been... Oh, who was the bad guy from The Phantom again?
Treat Williams.
That's the role Treat Williams should have played in this movie.
Agreed. I think that the funniest bit of this movie, if you know anything about the dude, is Shiwan Khan supposedly being the last of Genghis Khan's descendants.
That dude fucked.
Dude, like 1/20th of the Earth's population can trace back to Genghis Khan.
I wonder if it's supposed to be like direct descendants or...
Down whose line?
Yeah, I know, right? Definitely not Jachi, because probably wasn't Genghis's kid and was really quickly killed.
It impressed me, though, that even if there was They took the time to get that so horrendously wrong, but got his given name correct.
The guy in the museum being like, who's Temujin? Why have I never heard of him? And I'm like, you work in a history museum. You should be fired from your job immediately.
Bullshit, he's the last.
I kind of wanted him just
He's the last one on this block.
Maybe. I kind of wanted him just to be Temujin.
Yeah.
Like, come back to... Although, the more I think about it, the more insane that entry is. He used the silver sarcophagus of Genghis Khan to travel to America in traditional Mongol garb by boat, because this would have been
the 30s,
to be taken to a museum.
It's a long, complicated plan.
For no end, like, he gets nothing out of being in the museum.
Dude,
he gets nothing out of...
When that sarcophagus opened, we should have been able to see his shit corner.
Yeah, right? Where's the piss bucket? Like... But, like, if it would need, like, oh, I needed to sneak into this museum or this fancy thing, I could have arguably seen a point. It would have been easier to just take a boat and not been in the silver sarcophagus. Or even if, like, the silver sarcophagus had been sent to the Shadow's residence. And he makes a fancy entrance for Ethan fucking Phillips.
Yep.
And then makes Ethan Phillips shoot himself in the head. Like,
yeah.
That said, that means he knows how to travel in style. Smelly, cramped style.
He also apparently is able to hear through the silver sarcophagus. Because Ethan Phillips, before the chick starts going wild in that scene, is singing to himself Lullaby on Broadway, which is what Shuon Khan starts singing to himself when he makes Smoothie jump off the building.
Okay. The other thing that I found, like, wild but really hilarious is the random old guy that lives in the pneumatic tube room. And the world's longest pneumatic tube that is just like...
Dude, 1994, that seems like it was an expensive shot to, like, follow the pneumatic tube that long.
No one notices this pneumatic tube that goes across, like, 4 buildings?
Don't know what to tell you, man.
Okay, so I know you've never played Spider-Man 2. Or no, not Spider-Man 2. Marvel's Spider-Man,
right.
the first one. But there's a bit where there is a problem with some kind of... I think it's supposed to be like an electrical line going through the city. And you have to go from, like, you have to follow this line from place to place across the city.
Mm-hmm.
And it's goofy even then, but, like, I kind of can accept it because it's a follow mission in a video game. But it made me think of this entire, like...
That's funny. I finally found out what his name was when he was an Asian warlord. Yinko.
I kept expecting there to be an even momentary training scene.
I was going to say, it is a crime against humanity that we didn't get a training montage.
Because they just skipped straight from, like, well, I fought this CGI knife.
I got owned by this fucking knife, guys. That knife kicked my ass.
To, now I'm the Shadow, fully formed 7 years later.
I'm like, nothing? No training montage at all?
You put in so much effort in that set, too.
Like a minute and a half training montage. That's all I need. Then give me the 7 years later. In this hive of scum and villainy that we call New York City.
All ready to be like, you have completely ignored every single part of the Shadow's origin. But they do give us, and it's only like a throwaway line when his uncle's like, I'm so disappointed in you. You have no hobbies even. Disappears for 7 years like that, which, one, he clearly disappeared for more than 7 years.
Maybe
But
he was at least sending regular letters when he was Yinko.
Dear Uncle So-and-so, the police chief, today I murdered a village. But he did have some line of like, I know you saw some stuff in the war. Like, it's like, he was supposed to be like this huge, fucked up, I don't even want to call him a World War I hero, but like a guy that, like, Black Ops World War I agent that went through the shit. And they never really explained that.
Shouldn't he be older? Does the math work?
The Great War was from 17 to 19, I want to say. So if World War I ended in 1919, it might have been 19 to 21. I don't know how old Alec Baldwin is in this, but if he's in his 30s, that would be possible.
Yeah.
World War I went from July 28th, 1914 to November 11th, 1918. Alec Baldwin, let's see.
He was born in 58.
Born in 58. This
was 94.
So
probably filmed in 93.
So he's about 35.
So he's about right.
So yeah, he would have been pretty young when he went in the war, but like...
But it's doable.
Not impossible,
yeah.
Yes. Him and Margot Lane had some legit chemistry in this, by the way.
Yeah.
There were several times where I was like, you both clearly just want to get naked. Just go for it. Like, she's taking off her stuff. Like,
she's okay with this. I'm okay with this. You should be okay with this.
I'd be pretty happy with if she took her shirt off. I'm pretty sure Grace would not... Well, actually, my sister Grace would have been happy, too. I don't know why I said Grace. That's weird. But I'm pretty sure Cece would have been happy when Alec Baldwin took his shirt off. Or when Penelope Ann Miller took her shirt off.
Especially like 94 Alec Baldwin.
Right?
He's a good-looking man in this movie.
2024, no. No, thank you. But
he's a good-looking man in this movie.
He is. He's very much... That fucking scene where she wakes up and she's like talking about the dream she had that was pretty much just an ongoing orgasm. And like
he ruins the mood.
Hands down her boobs. Ooh, yes.
Like, what did you dream? I dreamed I ripped my face off and I was somebody else.
But like, even, you have issues. I know.
Yeah.
Like, again, not a great The Shadow. But such a good, like, weird pulp. I don't think it would be The Spirit, but, like, something along those lines. Like, somewhere between this, like, if The Spirit had money.
Mm-hmm. Raimi wanted to do this.
Yeah. And they should have let him. Raimi could have done a fucking The Shadow movie.
And he didn't get to. He did.
Darkman.
Which uses some of his ideas for The Shadow.
He got permission, too.
Yeah.
Like, that...
We should watch Darkman.
Fuck yeah, I haven't seen Darkman since college.
All I remember is the part where he's like mumbling to himself, and it's kind of like a Wizard of Oz like melody that he gets into.
I've not seen any of the later ones because they're like, well, we're not gonna have Liam Neeson. It's like, well, then I'm not gonna fucking watch this. Like,
yeah, what's the point?
I do actually want to watch Dark because when I watched Darkman, I didn't know pulp heroes as well, so I was like, this is not a great superhero story. But there is a difference between pulp and superhero. Like pulp hero.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to our season word balloons going on right now, that will come up more as we discuss it. The reason Batman works so well is he is the one pulp character that they have somehow perfectly transferred over to superheroes. Batman exists in the exact line between pulp heroes and superheroes.
Yeah. So, when I was doing some research for this, something that I found out was that there was a novelization for this that I'm actually somewhat interested in, because apparently the novelization of this movie, the author worked his fucking ass off, and it is apparently ridiculous, even more ridiculous than the movie, but it's because he does everything that he can to actually tie all the continuities together.
That's amazing. Read Matt Wagner's shadow work, by the way. Matt Wagner, who does Grendel, who is the king of pulp writing, does the shadow so fucking well. And he also does a lot of work to tie in the various continuities. I will say, well, this is not a good shadow. This is the only shadow that I would want to spend any time with.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's... Like, this shadow's still a dick, but he's not as big of a dick as the other shadows.
Yeah, this one's kind of a rich guy jerk who's aware that he sucks, while the other one's just like, well, you're my bitch now. Like,
also, I'm just going to be grumpy the entire time.
The whole time. There's a bunch of shadow novels, and I think a bunch of the old radio series on Audible. I was really hoping that it would have... the adaptation of the novelization.
Oh.
No luck. They have the fucking novelization of Godzilla King of Monsters, but they don't have... It was free.
Nice.
I've still not listened to it.
The other interesting thing I ran into when trying to do a little bit of research on this was there was a shadow, Kenner toy line.
Oh, I'm sure.
Kenner did their fucking homework because this was intended to start a franchise.
Oh yeah,
and then it bombed.
There was a Finnish Super Nintendo game that was never released because this movie did so badly.
But Kenner was like, well, if they're going to be making more, then we need to go into the expanded universe. So they actually even made a Dr. Makino the Voodoo Master toy in 1994. The character was almost completely forgotten about by that time.
Well, that's the thing about pulp characters. You often didn't have reoccurring villains. So, yeah, you had to come up with some wild stuff. Yo, I'm looking at this toy line. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right? I kind of want to get one of those Dr. Makinos just because it exists. Also, you can get one out of box for like $9. I saw one in box though for like $1,800.
Yeah, I believe it. Lightning Draw Shadow is funny because it's just like normal Shadow, but underneath directly is Shadow Ninja, and it's
what?
It's the Shadow with no shirt on and red pants and two giant sai.
Wow.
Shiwan Kong, various... Man, Shiwan Kong looks like he was set up to have way cooler armor than he ever has.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's fucking baller. Dude, that's fucking... That kills. Armor. If he would have shown up in that in the movie, then this hands down would have been the better one over the Phantom.
They've got a Shadowmobile, which is just like a bitchin' Batmobile without the Bat motif.
Dude, I think it's legitimately...
it's a sweet looking...
I'm pretty sure from what I'm reading right here is that it's literally just like their reconfigured Batmobile from their Batman line.
The Shadow Cycle?
Yeah, that's the Night Mist cycle, which was just a redone Bat cycle.
Yeah. The Shadow Thunder Cab, which is just a cab with a gun on it.
Yes.
Shiwan Khan's Serpent Bike. Like, shit, man. Why did we not have this movie?
Is the Serpent Bike dope?
It's relatively dope. I think all motorcycles are pretty dope.
That's pretty good.
Like, basically in the Shadow line, Shiwan Kong is just Cobra Commander.
Yeah, we need that Shiwan Khan in this movie. Everything you're showing me from the toys right now is
better.
Well, maybe not shirtless Shadow.
Okay, yeah, we don't need Ninja Shadow.
Ninja Shadow is pretty bad.
Man, I know I just said I didn't like this movie too much, but I have it for another 48 hours because I just ended up renting it.
Same.
I was lazy. It's fucking $3.70 or
something like that.
It was less than $4. This movie is definitely worth less than... I have no problem paying less than $4. I have it for another 48 hours, and part of me is like, I could put on the Shadow again, but I don't think Cece would go for that. I am amused that she does seem to be enjoying my running through 90s pulp movies.
Because they've been fun to watch so far?
Right?
Like, I'm surprised at how good this has been. Or at least how not unwatchable it's been.
How enjoyable it's been. We can't say it's good. Yeah, what the fuck is that? That's Dr. Makino.
Yeah, Dr. Makino, Voodoo Master.
Sure. Makes me think of Papa Shango, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
He doesn't look like him, but just the name. There was Ambush Shadow, which was just the shadow, but it was all clear plastic except for 2 red dots for the eyes.
Dude, the movie kind of fucking slaps.
It does. It's not a good... Okay, yeah, it's, it's like the Phantom. This is not a good movie. Objectively, it's not really.
No, it's bad.
But if you want to just have, like, a weird goof for a couple hours that has charming moments, then this is a great movie.
How, at the end, did Shiwan Khan not come out of the House of Mirrors looking like Jigsaw from Punisher?
How did she... Yeah, okay. I will say...
Also, how did the Shadow become that much of a psychic master? This is Psychic Master Shadow.
Yeah. In some versions, the Shadow could read minds, I think, but usually it was just that he...
would blur his identity.
Master Hypnotist, and in the radio version, he could turn invisible.
Oh, right.
But that was literally only because they didn't want to have to bother to explain why the Shadow could be in the room and no one knew it. So the Shadow could turn invisible except for his shadow, hence the Shadow. Which I was impressed that they took the time to do that moment in this movie. Like,
him getting shot by the arrows and then coming out of the shadow, like, that was actually pretty impressive for 94.
Oh, yeah.
Same
the knife was not good.
No, most of the time the knife wasn't good. There was a couple points where it kind of impressed me for at least the time period.
For 1994, you're correct.
As simple as it was, like, I thought the him ripping off the face was very effective. I thought that looked really good, even though it's literally just somebody ripping off a fucking rubber face mask.
That's fine. It's a dream. It doesn't have to look super realistic or whatever.
No, like, I felt like it did the job amazingly.
Great.
Like, it was kind of fucked up when all you saw was, like, the fingers coming through under
Yeah, no, that was maybe one of the best visual moments in this.
His dreamscapes were ridiculously well shot, too.
Yeah.
Those couple times when she ended up in, like...
in his dream, seeing...
Yeah, the Yo King fucking bedchamber, and he's like, you don't belong here.
Okay. So the bit where they kidnap him to take him to I don't remember what they called him, but his teacher.
Yeah.
And he's sleeping...
The
Tolka. And he's sleeping with, like, 3 women. I know it's a whole, like, harem opium den thing, but I can't see someone sleeping with multiple women and not go to Danny Rojas waking up screaming football is dead.
That's the first fucking thing.
Cece did too, because as I was just like, Danny Rojas, she just goes, Danny Rojas, Danny Rojas.
Oh my god. That's it, yeah. Forever, ever since Ted Lasso, that's forever going to be it. Just don't know why.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my god. I'm still trying to decide on whether it's more or less problematic that he was the Yellow Peril.
I think this movie's kind of racist.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's just...
100%. Yeah, it is.
That is my answer. Just this movie suffers from Yellow Peril in every possible scene, along with, like, fetishizing foreign culture. Because it does both simultaneously.
Yeah.
Oh, on that line, maybe the funniest bit in this movie is when he's being followed by the agent of Shiwan Kong, who is dressed as a Mongol while trying to tail the Shadow.
You're like, I wonder who's following me.
And I was already bothered by, like, the Mongol arm. One, like, even... Okay, I don't know when, like, I can't really say what clothing looked like in China in the 30s, but I know not that many people wore fucking Mongol armor.
Right.
or
Right.
Mongolia, I guess. But like,
Also, speaking of which, it seems like they mostly avoided the rice paddy hat, which, like, good for them.
credit to them. It was good looking armor, like it was kind of cool, and it was kind of accurate, but also kind of accurate was about the best you're gonna get with Mongol.
Mm-hmm.
It was weirdly clean every time.
That reminds me of a little trivia fact that actually ties in because Al Leong is in this movie, Genghis Khan from Excellent Adventure. The scale that is used for how accurate historical costuming is in a period piece is based off of Excellent Adventure.
Well,
It's one of those like things where it's just like there was no scale beforehand and the person just arbitrarily set that as like the base when they noticed that there was no scale beforehand.
So is Excellent Adventure considered good or bad?
Actually pretty decent. Like it's kind of like the baseline of like that's where like average begins or like C grade or like above.
Okay.
Maybe even like a B grade. Like apparently Excellent Adventure, like the costumes is actually pretty fucking good.
That's fair.
And it was literally like the person was like having to do research. It was, I can't remember the entire story. They had some job having to do with costuming anyway, and they were doing some research for some project that they had coming up and just had the movie on in the background while they were like doing like,
oh, sure. I do that all the time.
And like looked up and were like, oh, that's way closer than it has any right to be for this movie.
Dude, costumers are fucking weird when it comes to like reality and stuff. The amount of like shade that I have seen thrown towards semi-serious period dramas because the like shape of buttons. Because I have like in Belagarth, costuming, like period accuracy is not really a thing. We don't give a fuck, especially me. But like, there's enough crossover with other groups and stuff
where that is a thing.
Yeah, I have a friend who had very strong opinions on Bridgerton entirely based on the shape of like the dresses.
Interesting.
And I've still not seen Bridgerton, so I don't have opinions on Bridgerton
at all.
Yeah, same. Period.
No idea.
People seem to like it, so cool. I'm not like knocking on, but I just don't.
No familiarity.
Busty dresses.
Yeah.
Fuck, I did. One of the stars of the more recent Bridgerton seasons is apparently a more heavyset woman.
Okay.
And someone asked some kind of shitty question about like,
I think I saw this
your
post.
body type or something like that. Like, has it made it like difficult? Kind of a fat shaming question, but I think trying to gear it towards a way of like. And she's like, yes, it has been hard for me. It's really hard to exist in the community of perfect breasts.
I saw that.
So I'm just really glad that like you get to enjoy my perfect breasts across this season. I was like, hell yeah, girl.
Yeah, that was great. I wish I could remember her name, but like, it was great. I didn't realize that she was in Bridgerton. I didn't know any of the context for that when I saw it pop up.
Nope, that's all I know.
Okay.
She was in Bridgerton and that quote.
I was just like, cool, she's in something. Great quote.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I have much else to say on The Shadow other than I actually really liked it, and it's dumb.
I was disappointed by the transformation scene. Like, there's the bit where he's in the back of the...
okay. I barely even remember it.
He was in the back of the cab and, like, changing, and he looks back, and instead of, like, showing him changing or doing anything, they just have him, like, slowly, like, image, and then overlaying another image, and then overlaying another, like, getting him closer to becoming the Shadow, and the cab driver, like, moves it to make himself, and it has this, like, kind of, like, scared look or whatever. But because the Shadow costuming does not look intimidating, it's not scary. I want more about these fucking cab drivers. Maybe this is really my point. Like, Just a movie about a cab driver whose job it is to take care of the various pulp heroes. Like,
I like that. I like that.
I don't know if you could get a full movie
Copyright
out of
us.
it, but yeah, God, we have so many of those at this point. Yeah, there's not much to this movie. But it's less than 2 hours, and it didn't feel rushed for being less than 2 hours. Like, and you and I have talked about this a lot. Movies don't have to be 3 hours every time. There are some movies that should be 3 hours. Dune is fine.
Yeah.
The Shadow does not need to be. If you're telling a fucking pulp adventure piece, making it too long makes it suck.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it kind of, yeah, it all just sort of happens the way you think it's going to, for better or for worse. Legitimately, there's a couple times where, like, I guessed the line that was going to be said next in the movie because it was it was the dumbest, most generic thing that you could say. And I was like, that, and then they would repeat it, and I'd be like, that's amazing. But it's real bad.
I'm not even the world's biggest fan of The Mask, but I feel so bad for The Shadow coming out as the same summer as The Mask because it's such a superior film.
Oh, that'd be so rough. Like, because I think in a different year, this is still a bad movie, but it does nowhere near as bad if it's not up against.
If it came out a year before, I don't actually know what came out the year before, but
I'm gonna look it up now. I'm curious now.
Like 93 or 95, I think this movie would have done fine. It could have been the forgettable tentpole of the summer. Because Batman was 89. I want to say Batman Returns was like 91 or 92.
Yeah, oh, dude. If it would have came out in 93, it would have done so much better. Because it would have been up against, like still some fun movies, but it would have been up against, like, Hot Shots Part 2, Cliffhanger, Super Mario Brothers. The two that would have sucked the air out of the room would have been Jurassic Park and Last Action Hero.
Especially Jurassic Park.
But that's still not as overbearing as the next year.
As when Lion King and Mask and Natural Born Killers and Pulp Fiction and
Forrest Gump.
Gump. Like, that alone. Holy shit, yeah.
Sleepless in Seattle as well, but otherwise, Dennis the Menace.
Sleepless in Seattle is not competing with The Shadow.
No.
Like, that's...
Let me see. Yeah, Dennis the Menace, In the Line of Fire, Hocus Pocus, Coneheads, Men in Tights, The Fugitive, Needful Things. Dude, it does a lot better in 93. There's movies I like there, but this movie
I was going to say, there's
better.
some bomb-ass movies in that, but there's, it's
nothing that would have lit the world on fire. Like, nothing that would have been competition.
No. Yeah, oh, that sucks. I feel bad for them.
Also, 1 year later, I'm curious about that now, too. 95 instead of 94.
Batman Forever wouldn't come out for another couple years. We will someday do fucking Batman Forever. You and I have talked about that for a long time.
95 would have been, like Batman Forever.
Really? I thought that was like 97.
Apollo 13, Pocahontas, Casper, Die Hard with Vengeance. Maybe not 95. That's a bit stacked too.
Batman Forever did not do well either, but watching these two movies beat the shit out of each other trying to figure out what's the bad pulp action movie of the summer would have been funny.
Congo, Waterworld, Braveheart, Species, Clueless, Mortal Kombat, Babe, The Net. Oh, the Power Rangers movie.
Now that's a bad movie right there.
Yeah.
I have, we've talked about it. We've picked up affection for Power Rangers as I get older, and I have seen the, 25th anniversary special more than once. But, nah, man, that was not. The Netflix shelved or canceled their Power Rangers reboot that they were working on. And I'm oddly sad about that.
It does sound, though, like it's just that version.
Yeah, and I think
that they're going to go forward with something.
But I don't think Netflix is involved anymore.
Right.
But Power Rangers is going to keep going. It's just not the oeuvre, the moment that Power Rangers was in like a year and a half ago is just not as there as it was. Because sentimentality works in really weird ways.
Mm-hmm. Now I think I'm done with the Shadow.
Yeah, we've stopped talking about it for a while now. Next time we are going to do, what is it? The completely made up adventures of Dick Turpin?
That sounds like you got it wrong, but you didn't. I'm pretty sure that's entirely the title.
It's the something something adventures. I don't know if I have the exact words right there, but it's the Dick Turpin show on Apple TV.
With Vince Noir.
Old Greg, isn't it? No, that's not Old Greg. It's but also Mighty Boosh. But that's next time. My brain is wandering. I'm going to go watch wrestling.
Fair. I'm going to go get my ass handed to me by Millennium more.
Same concept. In the meantime, we're your generals of nerdery. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler. Dismissed. All right, we're adding a little postscript to this. We never do this, but I realized that there was something that's kind of really funny about this that I didn't bring up that I meant to bring up. The soundtrack.
Yeah.
Great little theme. I was pretty impressed while listening to this movie.
I did find it really funny that they switched to like a more modern pop hit for the end.
So that more modern pop hit is a song called Original Sin, Theme from the Shadow by Taylor Dane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though it is Original Sin subtitled Theme from the Shadow, it was written in the early 80s, and it was pitched to a girl group that basically failed called Pandora's Box.
Okay.
Now, a couple years after The Shadow came out, a Austrian musical came out called Tanz der Vampire, which is the musical version of the movie The Fearless Vampire Killers. It was written by Jim Steinman, who normally does music, who's most famous for doing music with Meatloaf.
Okay. That definitely puts it in a, like, genre, doesn't it?
It had a retooled version of this song.
By the Meatloaf guy in German?
Called Gott ist tot, or God is Dead. And it's basically the dominant version of the song now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, that's what people associate that song with, is Tanz der Vampire, not Original Sin, the theme from the Shadow.
The German Meatloaf guy musical about vampires beat out the Shadow in a song that's literally called Theme from the Shadow.
That was written for a girl group like 10 years before the Shadow.
Well, you know, they got their money's worth out of this fucking... I watched you watch part of the music video.
I will
start it.
When we're done here, I'll throw it on out in the front room, just back to back, so you can hear it. Like, it's the song. It's the same song.
Oh, sure, but I'm just saying, look up this music video from like the 30 seconds I saw
for the Original Sin.
I fucking love 90s music videos that connected to a movie and found ways to use like the sets from the movie.
The dumbest shit too.
It's always fucking awful, but it's the best ones. It is how to do it. It, you know, the entire Batman Forever soundtrack.
Yes.
That soundtrack fucking slaps, and I will die on that hill.
Dude, Kiss from a Rose.
Like, love me, kiss me, kill me.
Yeah.
Flaming Lips.
That's all fine, but Kiss from a Rose.
Yeah, no, I know Kiss from the Rose, but Kiss from the Rose sucks all the air out of the room for the other, you know, In Your Dreams, which is just the Flaming Lips talking about taking a nap and killing your boss in your dreams.
Which, you know, maybe relatable.
I might start singing that song, but not that lyric when I'm mad at work.
That's funny. Okay, now we're done.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Dismissed. I don't know. Again.
Hi, everybody. General Tyler here. If you like the show, please hit subscribe however you're listening to us right now. Also, if you could rate and review us however you're listening to us right now, or preferably over at Apple Podcasts, we would super appreciate it, as the whole world is ran on algorithms, and we want to be all up in them, getting our voice out to more places. Also, I mean, tell your friends. We always appreciate that. If you want to get in contact with us, ask us questions, give us comments, email us generalnerderypod@gmail.com. You can also contact us through our website, www.generalnerdcast.com. While you're there, check out all of our back catalog, or click the links up at the top as we are part of the Earworm Podcast Network. Go check out all of our sister shows. We're involved with most of them, so if you already like listening to us talk, it might be in your best interest. And if you want to check out everything from the network, head over to earworm.com, EARVVYRM.com. We'd super appreciate it. Love you all. Have a good one.